Millbrae Art and Wine Festival happening all around us. Went out, took a little walk around, dropped some money, of course, but on wonderful things, and you will love it too. You need to come on down. Now, before we talk to Joy Henry in the flesh, we're going to see a little bit about education and what's been going on in Millbrae during these times. Back in a minute.
I love my students because they are creative and thoughtful and kind and honest. And even though we are teaching over Zoom this year, we still find those times to be silly and have fun and smile together every day.
This has been a crazy year, and we've had to be more creative in learning how to teach through Zoom. But the best part is still seeing the excitement and energy of my students. It reminds me of why I love teaching.
I miss my students so much. While I love seeing them on Zoom, I definitely miss our daily classroom interactions.
Just thinking about going back to March 2020 when the kids first went into lockdown, everyone thought this was going to be a fairly temporary situation. They got through spring. As we went into that summer, we realized this might go into the fall. And so I don't think anyone anticipated what the new school year would look like. Not only the parents, but the educators.
It was scary. It was really scary. For me, the fear of this COVID and what it was going to do was worse. And so keeping my kids close to me felt safe and felt right.
I need to tell you how proud I am of our teachers and staff at the schools. They have done extraordinary, compassionate work through all of this. They've adjusted. We use that new word of pivot. They've been pivoting so much that they're whirling around like ballerinas these days. But I love the work they put in. I have the opportunity during COVID to actually read by Zoom to a fourth grade class every week. And I could see the children and their response to the technology and also to the teacher in the classroom. And I can tell you it's just remarkable. I think we've done a wonderful job. That's a biased opinion.
We started to sort of entrench ourselves in technology. We were able to integrate links and videos and Edpuzzles and Kahoots and all these different tools into our teaching. And initially, we were all very excited, and it was kind of nice being in your pajamas at home. But then with time, you found yourself and your students starving for interaction and also just getting away from the computer. So luckily our district had Wednesdays as days where we could do asynchronous learning and really encourage students to go outside. I remember having students journal and just show me, on the screen that they had written something versus turning everything in all the time digitally.
One time my son was just like bolting out of his room, running around. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, we're having a scavenger hunt. So I thought that was pretty funny and fun and creative. And I know they loved any opportunity to get up and to get out of that chair and not look at the screen.
Oh my gosh, there are so many things, just going into this in terms of original things and that teachers did to keep students engaged. A lot of them, because they were in their own homes, they created backdrops for their students and made it look exactly like a classroom.
Also PE. I was kind of thinking, how are they going to do PE? But they did it. They were following workouts. They had themselves on the camera. They told them, like, if you don't have weights, go get cans of soup or things like that. Just being really creative with like anything you could find around the house. And then of course the arts. I was really impressed with the drama and the music program particularly, and how they were able to keep going.
I'm lucky to teach what I teach, especially English is so dynamic, and there's so much we can do outside with poetry and writing and even editing essays. And then also with drama, we have to make a point of doing of, physical activities, improvisational activities outdoors.
And as I listened to my daughter, who's 13 years old, her teachers really didn't just focus on the schooling part, but actually empathized with the kids and talked to them a little bit more about what was going on. And I think that was helpful for everyone.
Seeing how the school was working very closely to support all our families, make sure that they had hotspots, make sure that there were learning spaces provided for students that didn't have a space that they could learn successfully from at their homes.
The other thing is just received word that, we're going to continue to provide free food to any child in the district at Lomita Park. We're going to give two meals per day to any child that shows up. They don't have to go to the school. They don't have to show ID. If they come, we will give them a paper sack and a drink, and that's going to be ongoing until the end of September at the minimum. So those little enhancements, which demonstrates that we are looking at the whole child, really makes me happy and proud to be on this board.
I think in terms of what I would like the community to know about is that it's just the resilience of the kids and the students, the teachers. We have a wonderful, wonderful school district with great staff. So it's, if we're supporting them, we're supporting our students.
Hi there, Victoria Hunter back with you at the Millbrae Art and Wine Festival. It was a great segment on education, certainly one of the most difficult things to keep up and running during a pandemic. And someone who's had some very hands-on experience with that is Joy Henry, who you saw on that video. Tell us about what your challenges have been this year.
So with the Millbrae Education Foundation, I think one of our biggest challenges has been fundraising. We usually do that in person, and the past year we had to pivot and do everything virtually. We couldn't connect with families, we couldn't connect with the teachers and the staff. It's pretty difficult.
Right, well, the whole connection thing in general, once you're on Zoom, it's just like watching somebody on television. You don't have the immediacy of someone actually talking to you and helping you. So I can't imagine how you guys have been doing it, and then of course all your other programs like music and whatever, what happens to them?
Yeah, those were some of the programs that we supported. A lot of our new volunteers we had never met in person until the last couple of months. And so, yeah, a lot of things had to take a step back, and we had to just realign and reassess how we could help the school district a little bit better through Zoom.
Yes, of course. Well, now, of course, we are Zoom free, I hope. We've got in-person back. What are your plans for this year? I mean, we're just starting the school year.
So it's been a combination, because what we found from the virtual environment is there is a benefit. You get more people participating in meetings. Parents that usually are working, they could participate in meetings. So it's going to be a combination. And so what we're hoping to do is just continue to fundraise what we can for the districts, because there's still a funding gap. We're hoping to do our gala, which is our signature event, and we're looking at doing that in 2022. So hopefully that we'll be in a better place so folks can actually do what we're doing today, which is a live event, and making sure we're helping all of the schools through additional funding.
How long have you been involved in this?
So through the Millbrae Education Foundation, I've been the board president. This is my second year. I have been volunteering with schools. My eldest is 21 years old, so 22 years now.
Wow. Yes, that makes you intimately involved.
Yes,
Not
absolutely.
only as someone who works for education, but someone who is being educated as well. How have your kids responded to all of this?
It's been challenging. My youngest is 13, so all of her classes had to go on Zoom. At first, I think she was extremely frustrated, and then by the end of it, she was wearing her pajamas, and getting a little bit too comfortable with not seeing people. So going back was hard, because then she had to, just socialize again, and that's always a challenge for young ones. It's been a challenge for all of the kids, I think, more than anyone.
Just wearing pants again.
Yes, exactly, right? Having to dress up.
Yes,
Having
exactly.
to wake up for school and actually get in the car.
Exactly right, yeah. And not wear pajamas to school.
Correct.
I know.
Correct.
Well, do you think this combo platter, if you will, about the Zoom and in person will actually benefit kids?
Well, the kids are back in school, and hopefully we won't get in a situation where they have to go back virtually. I think the socialization is so important for them.
Yeah.
Even though some people actually benefited from being virtually, they're not as social, but they need that. They need this kind of interaction that we're having right now in person. So hopefully that will be, we'll continue down that path. It'll be good for them.
But for instance, Zoom could be used for meetings with parents and things like that, because it is an advantage if parents are working and they don't have much time in their day to really do anything outside of that.
Correct. We've actually found it's been a little bit more productive. We've gotten more volunteers than we did in the past, and so we want to be able to continue forward and make sure that we're making the meetings accessible for everyone.
Right.
And Zoom is the best way to do that. There aren't people that can come to meetings. There aren't people that have the time.
Now, before we close, because I know we don't have that much of your time, what else do you want us to know about this coming year? What's important for parents to be aware of?
I think what's really important for parents to know is that we continue, that all of the schools within our district continue to need the support of all the community members, and we need that through volunteer efforts and also through whatever they can give in terms of funds.
Right. Well, one thing about Millbrae that is fabulous are volunteers.
Yes.
I mean, they're very active in just about everything.
Yes.
So you can always count on them.
Absolutely.
Well, one of the things about art and wine is not just art and wine, but it's also food.
Right.
There's a lot of amazing food, and I think we're about to see something about someone who makes jam, very small containers of jam, I think. Let's take a look and bring us some food, will you? We'll be back.
COVID-19 has caused so much pain and grief in so many ways. Everyone in Millbrae has done an admirable job in getting vaccinated, staying socially distant, wearing face masks, and washing your hands often. Because of your continued effort, we are relatively low transmission and hospitalization rates. But we must continue to fight and keep our guard up. If you're not vaccinated, please get vaccinated for your sake and for those around you. If you're out in public, please wear a face mask, stay 6 feet away from others, not in your immediate family, and wash or sanitize your hands often. Through these measures, we can slow the spread of COVID-19, ensure our county stays open, not have to cancel planned outdoor events here in Millbrae, and protect ourselves and those around us. Thank you.
You're watching MCTV, Community brought to you.
Hello there, Victoria Hunter back with you. And as you can see, we have a little hive of activity starting to happen. And that's because of our next guest, who you all know and love, Quentin J. Focus Wines. And last year, as I he did a pairing with things like hot dogs and wine, hamburgers and wine. So his shop is one of the ones where there's a lot of ways to learn about wine. And he always comes along with some amazing things. Generally, I end up paying a lot of money after because he's got so much that's wonderful to see. So we'll be talking to him in just a second. He's getting all set. Are we going to see anything in the meantime? No? Yes? Okay, jam. Oh, jam. I thought the jam was last time. Now it's the jam. All of you who are waiting, here it is.
Yeah, so my name is Pablo Lugones. I'm the owner and canning enthusiast behind a Small Batch Jam Company here in Pacifica, California. Small Batch has been in business now for about 6 years. I have been canning closer to 8. It started as a home hobby. It was more of an interest that just kind of snowballed into what is eventually now my side business. It's a funny story. It starts out with eventually my realizing that I hadn't saved enough for my kids' college education as I thought that I had. And right around that time, I had started playing around with fruit preserving and canning. It really started to become a passion, and coupled that with a number of folks that kept chirping in my ear that this was something that I should follow up on and try to make a business out of it.
Jam making at home is a little bit different when you're considering making in bulk or in large volumes. When you're at home, you've got a lot more controls that allow you to have a little more flexibility. Not that I'm considered myself an industrial manufacturer, but once you get past the hobby scope of home production, jam making is really a chemistry experiment each and every time. You have certain parameters that are always present, but you need to hit certain other parameters. That is what makes it a little challenging, especially when you're using fresh fruit directly from growers. You're going to have different levels of sugar content in the fruit, even within the same crop season. Fruit that tends to be processed at the end of the crop, that's softer, it's going to have a lot more sugar in it, versus fruit that still isn't as mature or as ripe and has less sugar. But essentially, the process goes is that I would weigh out how much fruit I have to process. I have my recipes scaled so that I have some flexibility in calculations. So based on the weight of fruit, I then calculate the amount of pectin, lemon juice as the acid, and sugar that I need to add to make the whole operation gel. And you have to make sure that you hit the right pH in order for the pectin to be activated. And once you can it, you cross your fingers, hope that you've done it right, and more often than not, I succeed rather than fail.
For the first few years, it was 100%. Basically, we were only showing in Bay Area art and wine and craft holiday shows, and Millbrae has shown us a great deal of support. You know, I want to say that I was more fortunate than a number of my other food or non-food vendors, in that I was quickly able to pivot to focusing a lot more of my sales efforts into our e-commerce website and advertising on social media. 2020 ended up being a positive year for us because we expanded our growth outside of the Bay Area. But as the art and wine and craft show circuit does come back around, we do want to continue being very present in the markets that helped to get us our start. Let's see, Bacchus was one of my original retailers. We were very grateful to by happenstance, being able to come up with that relationship almost right before the first year that we showed. And they did do their part in help marketing us. It also ended up being strategically that we were placed opposite to where they were at the festival, and we had folks mentioning, "Hey, I saw your products at Bacchus at the far end." It goes hand in hand, and I can't say enough good things about that relationship with Bacchus.
I'd say what I absolutely love is the fact that when someone asks me, "Did you make this?" I can look them in the eye and say, "Yes, I did." I can honestly say that every jar or bottle that I sell, I've been the one to personally produce it from fruit all the way to finished product. And then with the help of my wife, we label it and market it by hand. And that's probably my biggest pride and joy of being able to say that I was the one that created this product that then someone gets to enjoy.
Where should I be looking? Not to be an idiot.
Victoria Hunter back with you with the Millbrae Art and Wine Festival. And one of the reasons I love to do the Art and Wine Festival is sitting right here. Quentin J., owner of Bacchus. Yeah. Wonderful store where you can go in and wines are organized, whether you're having meat or poultry or whatever. Yeah. You don't have to feel like an idiot when you go into that store, because you won't be when you leave, that's for sure. Anyway, as you can see, we have a little plethora here of wine. Tell us all about them, Quentin.
Well, Victoria, I'm just glad that we're back meeting in person, right?
Yeah.
It's been a hiatus for a year.
Yes.
I had to go look for the Bacchus outfit, and it's somewhere buried beneath the Eeyore outfit that I have, and a couple onesies that I think adult onesies that I wear. So, but anyways,
know about your person.
Exactly. So, but anyways, but we're here to talk about wine.
Yes.
And I want to actually introduce a couple four sort of favorites of this year.
Okay.
Actually, over the last 2 years. So the first one I want to actually have for us is a wine from Sancerre. So I don't know if I should bring it.
Yep.
Oh, sorry about that. A little product placement is never bad.
There you go.
So this is Sancerre. So this is by Domaine Vacheron. So Sancerre is 90 minutes outside of France. Ooh, that's a little heavy pour, but you're gonna love this. I tell you, man.
I'm feeling I'm gonna love all
All right,
this.
good. Exactly. It's a little hot. But before we do anything else, let me say cheers. All right.
Cheers
all right.
to your very good health.
Thank you.
Oh my.
So, Domaine Vacheron,
Nice.
second generation winemaking family. Sancerre is about 90 minutes out of Paris. And, oh man, it's so good, I gotta have another one. So 90 minutes outside of Paris.
Well, we have to finish it before we can do the others.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, we must. There's no dump bucket. That's perfect. I love these people. Anyway, so 90 minutes outside of Paris, the Vacheron family has been making wine for 2 generations. And in 2007, I had the opportunity to spend a summer there. Ooh. And the main grape in Sancerre is Sauvignon Blanc.
Oh,
and
that's
this is
what
what
I'm
happens
tasting.
when you make Sauvignon Blanc in concrete tanks. That minerality. And the reason why I really love Sancerre's is primarily because that minerality and just the place. It was underwater like millions of years ago. There's chalk, there's limestone. But when you're drinking it,
it's nice.
It goes down so easily.
It certainly does.
Right? It's great for summer, but then it's also my perfect wine for seafood. A little secret about the shop is that if I had to pick one wine in the shop among all the wines, I probably shouldn't say, but it's the Domaine Vacheron La Romaine. It's a $64 white wine, and it is life-changing. So, anyways.
We can all use that, right?
I know,
now.
Exactly. So let me finish up here.
This was pretty wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
2019, Domaine Vacheron. Well, one thing I love about your shop, you can always not only taste, but you can learn. And you learn about the different wines and what to pair with. Because most of us haven't the smallest clue.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm having chicken tonight.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
What does that mean? Exactly. So, it's really simple. I mean, at the shop, what we do is we normally, ask people 2 questions. What are you having for dinner tonight, and how much you want to spend, right? I mean, we have a range. I mean, I got a great $9 bottle, and I got a great $1,000 bottle, right? And I mean, if you're going to be having hamburgers tonight, you probably want to, $15, $20
bottle.
That's why I like your style, man. That's what I'm talking about right here. I need more customers like you.
Well, you're having hamburger. Why not?
Exactly. It's not chopped steak, right? I mean, what's that sign? Anyways.
Spending on the entree.
Exactly.
So
the next one is I'm going to pour this one, and I want you to close your eyes when you drink this. So this one is from Jerry Caselli, the lead singer for Devo. Actually, he has a winery called the 5550. Growing up, I was a Devo fan, and Jerry Caselli and I are friends. It's called, this wine is a white Pinot Noir. That means, yes, they use the Pinot grapes.
Yes.
It's a red grape, right?
Right, of course.
He takes it off the skins right away, and it's a white wine. And you close your eyes, when you drink it and smell it, you think you're drinking Pinot Noir.
Yes, you do. That's exactly what I...
You think you're drinking Pinot. You're not
exactly
drinking
right.
white wine, right.
Exactly right. A very pale Pinot. Beautiful.
Very Pinot style, right? because it is the Pinot grape.
Yes.
Except they take it off the skins right after they press it, and then they ferment it white, and next thing you know, you're having a white Pinot Noir.
That's great.
Right?
Because I love
Great-
Pinot Noir.
Great with lobster, one of my
Oh,
favorites.
yes.
You little sous vide poached lobster, and you're
Yes.
having it with it, so it kind of gets both.
Absolutely.
It's a little bit lighter, so not as heavy as the red because it doesn't have all the red anthocyanins to kind of give it that
Yes,
tannin.
the tannin,
All
yeah.
the tannins, but the acids are left, and it's beautiful wine.
God,
so
it's wonderful.
This is one of my favorites, and of course, I'm a Devo fan from growing up. And shout
I
out
would
to
never
Jerry.
have guessed.
Yeah, exactly. Who would have known? Yeah, oh yeah, Jerry Caselli makes this wine. He's really into wine. We've had him pour at the shop many times.
Oh,
and he's actually now a good personal friend. And who would have known a kid growing up in Huntington Beach in 1982, riding his bicycle, listening to Devo, and now I'm friends with Jerry Caselli, and we share wine together, which is awesome.
I can't think of a better connection than
Exactly,
wine.
so, which is really nice.
Now I think we're going to move into some real reds, right? I love this job.
There are worse ones in America. So the next one that we're going to be having is a wine by a gentleman by the name of Peter Heights.
Oh,
Peter
I
Heights.
know that. I've
So-
been to the winery.
Yeah, that's the Heights family. It's a different Heights family, but this is Peter Heights. His family's been in Calistoga for a gazillion generations. I think 5 generations. Yep, 5 generations right here. And he makes a red wine. He's a 100-point winemaker for the Turnbull Wine Company. He makes only 11 barrels of this, and for $39, he's a 100-point winemaker.
You're
Like,
kidding.
the wines that he makes for the company that he works for full-time are, I don't know, a couple $100. But this is actually from his family's vineyard in
Wow, Shy Poke.
Shy Poke.
Interesting.
And it's a great wine.
So, what is it? And is it Merlot? Is it Cabernet? Is it a combo?
This is his all of the pieces that he puts together. I mean, he's got Chardonnay, he's got Cab. I mean, his Cabernet is probably one of the best Cabs that I've had. I just had it recently for dinner.
This tastes like a melange.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Right? Easy drinking, but yet has a lot of complexity
Yes,
to it.
yes.
That's very difficult. Easy drinking and complexity. There's a lot of complexity, but some aren't really easy drinking because the tannins are really
That's
high.
right.
I probably should
They
take off
get you,
this Devo
they
hat,
get you
Rob.
right about here, yes. No, this definitely doesn't.
But this one
have a
wants
lot
you to
of
have
tannins.
another one,
Oh,
and another
this is
one.
so smooth.
Exactly, right? I think this one's going to be a staff favorite because we're going to leave this bottle behind.
May not. Mine. I see my purse right over
Exactly. We got more wine for everybody here, man. I got a whole shop full of them. All right, next but not
That is
not-
tasty.
last but not least, because we have another bunch of other stuff too, is one by Herman Story Winery out of Paso Robles. I love this label. I think we showed the label a little bit earlier. Whoa, there we go.
They found out about us.
They found out about us, man. They're coming. Holy smokes. Hide the booze. Anyways, so his whole thing is, with this label, what he does is that he finds out, what he'll say is to all his wine club members, who wants to be on the label. This label is called the Late Bloomer. So you need to show your, I won't say ugliest, but let's say gangliest growing up picture and what you look like now.
Braces.
And if there's a big enough difference, you end up on a wine label.
Oh, but not the good one.
But not the good one. No way. The good one.
Somewhere there's
No way.
Really, Dad?
Exactly,
Really?
exactly. So this one, my friend, is a 2016. I have the entire collection of 8 years at the shop. So everyone should stop by and check it out. Incidentally, he is coming on September 18th to come pour in the city of Millbrae.
Wow.
So I invite everyone to come out some of the best wines that I really like out of Paso Robles. So cheers to this.
Well, it's not a store, it's a party.
Yes.
Lovely. Not overly amusing.
No. Cheers. And I got a couple other things for you. How much time do we got left? 2 minutes. Wow, we better hustle.
Man, this is good too.
What do you think about this? Yummy, right?
Very yummy.
You're getting in the bottle.
This is even more smooth.
Yes,
though.
yes, I think so
That
too.
it just
This one's has a
slides.
little bit of
down.
tannins.
Yeah, this
one's your
that's all I need is a straw.
cocktail replacement instead.
Yes.
Right?
There's more.
There's more.
I love this man. He always
Remember,
comes.
a woman like you definitely needs to eat, and we are going to have some artichokes from
Whoa.
the Art and Wine Festival. It's very important that be fed during this time.
Ah, yes.
And what I really want is I want you to taste one of these.
Okay.
Which is delicious.
A little nibble so I can still talk.
But you know what? This year in 2020 was one of these years.
Oh, yummy.
Put that down. I'm sorry. I am a truffle nut. Do you like truffles?
Oh, yes.
I'm gonna make your head explode. You want your see? We're gonna watch Victoria's head explode, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on a second.
Get some thumbtacks for my hat.
So these are sliced truffles in oil that I brought in from Italy because why? I'm a truffle nut. And I love truffles. And anything with truffles is better, but I want you to smell this. I want you to zoom in on her face.
Oh, my.
Her head just exploded, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, my.
Oh, yeah. Truffles. Yum.
I just want to climb into this.
So one of the things, so I was able to bring, so originally I was going to bring them over, and then the guy goes, hey, how much do you like it? And I said, I love these truffles.
Oh, they're
And he
wonderful.
just goes, do you love it so much that you'll buy 2,000 jars? I'll put your name on it.
Wow.
What?
That's
Bacchus
fabulous.
Provisions by Quentin J.
Oh, amazing.
And if you're into truffles, this is the jam.
It is
So what I'm going to
gorgeous.
do is
My
I'm just going to
head.
make this decadent. You're going to have a little bit of truffle.
Oh, thank you
on
very much.
artichoke, and your heads are going to explode.
Of
again and again. Because I'm going to have one myself.
That's so earthy. It just so dense.
Ridiculous, right?
Oh, yeah.
And if we really want to be super bad,
Oh,
super bad,
you got one there just laying on it, huh?
if you want to be super bad, here's a piece of truffle. As she's having a piece of sliced truffle, and watch her head explode. Oh my God.
Boy, you sure there's not psilocybin in this?
Oh my God. No,
This is
there's
wonderful.
well, I
I'm
can't
a
say crack
lucky
cocaine,
girl.
but anyways.
And you can be lucky too if you go to Bacchus.
And last but not
because
least.
he has that.
I know, I have to. But last but not least,
Oh.
her favorite, ladies and gentlemen, Japanese whiskey.
whiskey.
Japanese whiskey. And
I think that Japanese whiskey could be good, you
Yeah.
know? I mean, who thinks of Japanese whiskey?
totally, right?
But-
It's the last thing. But
but
they
this
are
is
so good
brilliant.
at making things better. I mean, just think about it. Cars, potato chips, or whatever,
There's
right?
that, yeah.
You know? But this one is actually one that actually says,
That's what we had last time.
well, this is different. This is a single barrel that I selected myself.
Wow.
Myself. Oh, come on. Now you're too much. You're too much. All right. Let me pour you some. All right.
I
Hold
love
on.
it.
I'm sorry. Thank you very much.
I don't know how many segments there'll be after this.
All right. Perfect. Well, cheers to this one because this is a
this
barrel
is
that I personally selected
amazing.
myself, finished off in Mizunara oak. And when I tell you the proof, your head's going to explode for the, I don't know, 10th, 20th, I don't know, 100th time.
I'm wearing a hat.
Exactly.
It's lovely. Very smooth. Very nice.
Super smooth.
Yeah.
Cast strength at 112 proof.
Oh my God. Really?
Don't drive.
No.
I'm calling you an Uber right
No,
now.
I wouldn't.
But your driver's taking you home. Your driver's taking you home.
It doesn't taste like
I
it.
know, and that's why it's cheers to the Millbrae Art and Wine Festival.
And cheers to you, my man.
You know
and
what?
Bacchus
When
wine.
oh, come on. When I knew that I had a segment with you, I was like, yes. So,
Well,
anyways.
as much as I'm loath
Yeah.
to stop this, we do need to go back and see what's going on in the Millbrae Art and Wine Festival at the top of the hour
Yeah.
with more goodies. And in the meantime, I'm a very happy girl.
Ah,
Thank you, Jay.
Cheers. Thank you very much.
Cheers to you as
right,
well. Enjoy.
A little pandemic isn't going to stop business from booming in our town. Join us at the top of the next hour to hear from some of the businesses that keep the heart of our city still pumping, as well as learn about the younger generation helping to contribute where they can.